Hey everyone, how's it going? All Things Sports by Mike McIntyre here, and I'm here today to bring you a video of the brand new release for 2015, the Adidas Ace 15.1 in the synthetic version. So in my opinion, the standard version, the first choice version. They do make a kangaroo leather version. You guys can go check that out if you like. However, it's more of a modern Copa, if you will. It really takes after the old Adipure 11 Pros. It's got a nice soft kangaroo leather upper, and it really caters to that sort of 11 Pro Adipure player. The synthetic version caters more towards that Predator, or even someone who wore the Nitro Charge. I've worn the Predators for the last 10-12 years, so for me this was a no-brainer. So I'm very excited to get my hands on a pair. I can't wait to try them out. But before I do, we'll get into the unboxing and we'll do a little quick review and on-feed video. So we'll get right into it. So in the box, you do get a string bag. It's actually quite a nice string bag from Adidas. Then we get the shoes. There we go. There's nothing else in the box, so we don't need that. So there you go. Those are the brand new 2015 Adidas Ace 15.1, and there's a quick look at the string bag. So it's actually quite a nice string bag. It's kind of like a microfibery mesh sort of material. So it's really light, very soft to the touch. It's got that sort of Ace webbing grip pattern throughout. Kind of fades in towards this corner. You've got the Ace logo here and Adidas football, nice and big branding right there in white with these sort of volt colored strings. So and then on the back it's just that dark sort of black color. So that's it. That's a string bag you get, nice little extra. And then we'll get into the shoes themselves. So there's a look at the shoes themselves. So you get a tag on this, on one of the shoes at least, that was attached to the laces, and it actually says suitable for firm ground / artificial ground. So we'll get into that later. It's the firm ground / AG stud pattern, a new thing from Adidas. So we'll talk about that a little later. But first, we'll just talk about the upper of the shoe, the tech specs, all that kind of thing, and then we'll put them on later. So first thing we'll talk about the colorway is, this is the launch colorway. It's got that black, white, and I think Adidas calls it solar yellow, but it's kind of like that Volt color from Nike, so it's that very bright highlighter yellow. And you can see obviously that's that's featured in the back third of the foot, and then underneath the webbing pattern sort of. So that is the colorway. So you've got, for the control web, you got this black color, you got 3 white stripes, and then that highlighted color for the heel, top of the tongue, and the underneath. And then on the bottom, it follows that same pattern. The stripes sort of wrap around the sole plate of the shoe. You've got the highlighted color in the heel, just like on the upper. And then you've got, this is a nice little touch actually, you got that highlighter color inside the studs, if you will. That's kind of what it looks like. It's just like a translucent stud, and then underneath it, or inside of it, sorry, you get another sort of mini stud in that highlighted color. So it actually creates a pretty cool looking effect. So that's pretty much it about the colorway. I mean, to be honest, when it came out, I wasn't crazy about it, but having it here in person, the more I look at it, the more I actually like it. So it's quite a nice colorway. I like some of the new ones that they've come out with now too, with the blue and the white one. But it's not a bad looking colorway actually, and it's actually really grown on me. So that's the colorway. Now we'll just talk about the upper material and what it's made out of. So this is a new revolutionary sort of upper from Adidas. They call it their 3D control webbing or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but the whole point of this design, it's got like a mesh base layer, and then this sort of 3D control 360 degree control webbing on top. So it's supposed to provide a lot of grip on the ball. It's for that player that likes to control the game, dictate play. So it's sort of supposed to enhance your control. Obviously, that's the marketing behind it. So you get that in the forefoot and midfoot, and then from this seam all the way around to this seam, you get this synthetic sort of laminate material almost. And I have heard some people say that it kind of looks cheap, and I agree to a certain extent, but it doesn't necessarily feel cheap. I don't. I think they could have used something more premium. Don't get me wrong, but in all honesty, I don't think it's that bad, actually. To the touch and everything, it still feels like a good quality piece of material. Don't get me wrong, I do agree that it could have been a little bit better, but I don't think it's as bad as some people say, so take that for what it's worth. You've got sort of like this piece of extra padding here on the inside and the outside of the shoe, just under your ankle. And to be honest, in my head, I think that's coming from the Nitro Charge, right? They're trying to take some elements of all their other shoes and translate them into this new lineup. I think this is kind of, in my opinion, this is derived from the Nitro Charge. I add a little piece of protection here underneath the ankle where you might get cleated and take a few knocks. So that's underneath the ankle. And then you have this external heel counter that will obviously provide some sort of protection, a certain level of protection, and some stability. So that's supposed to keep your foot down, locked in place. And that's pretty much it for tech on the upper. It's also got this, Adidas featured this on the X too, this non-stop grip, where they have these little dots on the upper of the black stuff. It's going to be difficult to see, but if I put it up there, there are these tiny, tiny little dots that you can see on the black 3D control webbing. And that is supposed to help your grip in the wet. So in wet conditions, this non-stop grip element is kind of like Nike's ACC or Puma's Grip Tax. You know, they're all kind of doing that same thing now. So it's supposed to add a little bit of extra grip on the ball, a little bit more feeling on the ball, and you know, enhance your play when playing in wet environments. So take that for what you will. So that's the upper. I think it's worth noting too, on the 3 stripes, there's a little bit of texturing, sort of. If I rub my finger along it, you can kind of hear it sounds like there's that texturing to it. There's definitely some sort of, you'll probably aid in some sort of grip on the ball, and I guess that's the same idea. Continuing the theme with the non-stop grip, they're going to put that into the 3 stripes as well. So there you go. That's pretty much the upper. The next big thing we'll talk about is the Soleplate, because that is a sort of revolutionary element. So the Soleplate is supposed to be a hybrid, if you will, of firm ground and artificial ground surface. So you have the familiar 4 studs in the back. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 firm ground studs. Not very different from what you would find on previous Adidas shoes. So same sort of idea. All conical studs this time around, but the same sort of idea. But then you've got this second layer of tiny, tiny, almost like toothpick studs that sort of run up the middle of the foot. They're a little larger in this area. These 6 here are the largest ones. But they run through the middle here, and then they're in between every sort of big stud. So you've got a tiny one, a big one, then you've got a little one here, a big one, a little one, a big one, and so on and so forth, all the way around the shoe. So it's got the main level of traction and then sort of a second level of traction. And if you look at it, you know, it's not very different from a turf shoe. If you get a turf shoe, it's kind of the same idea. All these little studs, there's tons of those in rubber usually, but that's the Soleplate of the shoe. So this is not a bad idea in the sense that it's almost a hybrid, and I think it's going to work extremely, extremely well. I can't wait to actually try it, because these days all I play on is artificial turf. That said, the new stuff is very, very nice. It mimics grass quite well, actually. It's soft. It's, you know, a little longer. It doesn't get pushed down and flattened as easily as it used to. So a lot of the new fields, like the new field turf fields, they're actually very, very nice. So I think this is going to perform extremely well on those, and I'm actually very, very excited to give it a try. So that is the Soleplate. The last thing I could talk about, I'll show you the insole on the tongue, I guess, quickly, and the weight. So the last thing on the tongue, sorry if you noticed, I've been sort of stuffed up for the last few days, so if I sound a little different, I apologize. I can't really breathe through my nose right now, so take that for what you will. The last thing is the tongue. That sort of laminate synthetic material continues onto the tongue. You get the same sort of pattern at the bottom, obviously, right there, but then at the top, this highlighter yellow piece is sort of like a foam with laminate synthetic material on top. So the inside of it feels like it'll be quite comfortable. The liner feels like this synthetic suede, so I think stepping comfort is going to be quite good, actually, with the heel liner. And the part of the tongue actually touching your foot. But again, this is that sort of cheap laminate material. It doesn't feel all that bad, but again, not as premium as it could have been, put it that way. So I thought I would just mention that quickly. That's the tongue. Pull out the insole here. Now the insole, the insole is not very different than what you'd find on any other shoe, really. It's got a similar sort of shape and design, I guess. So it's keeping that sort of Ace pattern here. So you've got that Ace pattern on the underneath. It's got perforations throughout here on the black surface, and then it's got a little bit of a cupping here for your heel. And I mean, that's the insole. Nothing special, just one thin layer of foam with perforations in the forefoot. So that is the insole. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, I could tell you about, really is the weight. So the weight factor in these shoes, I believe they weigh in at 8.5 ounces or 8.9 ounces or something like that. So they are technically a little lighter than the Predator Instincts, the last generation Predator that Adidas released. So technically, I believe they're lighter than those, but they're not a lightweight shoe, right? You could obviously get something lighter. So if you're in the market for a speed boot, you're not going to be attracted to these initially. Personally, I don't believe that weight makes that big of a difference anymore. When they first came out with like the F50 Adi Zeros back in 2010, first time you picked those up, you were like, holy cow, this is really, really, really light. This could be, this can actually have a significant impact. This might be a big difference on my foot. I might feel a little quicker or whatever. But nowadays, all shoes are pretty light. They're just, I personally, it's not my first need, I guess, my first want. I don't necessarily need a lightweight shoe. It doesn't bother me if it's a little bit heavier. So these weigh in at 8.9 ounces, I believe. Let's say 9 ounces. And a little lighter than the Predator Instinct, but obviously not the lightest boot around. So take that for what you will. So that is the sort of review of the Aces. I think they look fantastic, to be honest. I can't wait to get them on. I think they're going to be extremely, extremely comfortable. They're built on a similar last to the Predator Instinct. So, as far as fit goes, I believe they will fit fairly similar. So that's it for the review part of the video. I'm just going to put them on for you guys, give you a quick on-feet look at them and just talk about fit and sizing for a second, and then we'll wrap up the video at the end. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so there's a quick look at the Adidas Ace 15.1s on feet. From right out of the box, they're extremely comfortable. They really are. I don't think I've tried on a pair of shoes that are as comfortable as the Instincts or as these from right out of the box. As soon as you put them on, my foot fits in them no problem. They're flexible, they're soft, they're comfortable. So I really don't think these will take very long to break in. As far as sizing goes, they definitely fit true to size. I have absolutely no doubt in that. Any Adidas shoe, no matter what model it is, they're very consistent with their sizing, which is one reason I personally really, really like Adidas. As far as fit goes, they're a wider fitting shoe. Same sort of last as the Predator Instinct, like I mentioned. So for me, they fit very, very well. I have extremely wide foot, and there's absolutely no problem as far as width goes. They're very comfortable. They'll stretch, I think, slightly to your foot, and they're really, really comfortable shoes. So you could throw them on, and you're pretty much ready to go from right out of the box. The other thing I want to mention is the heel. They're sort of a deeper cut, so hopefully you can see this area here. The heel kind of climbs up a little higher on your Achilles tendon, so the whole cut of the shoe, your heel is kind of sitting down a bit more into this area. So personally, I'm a big fan of that. I feel like my foot is locked in, it's secure, it's stable, that I'm not really going anywhere. Some shoes have a different sort of cut around the heel, and I'm personally a big fan of this one. I have a deep heel. It's cut around my Achilles tendon, and I think I'm just a big fan of that. I think that's my preferred sort of foot design, my shoe design, I guess. So that's pretty much it, guys, as far as the on feet portion goes. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. So true to size, width is great. They'll fit pretty much anybody's foot because of their wider last. So they're going to be suitable for pretty much everybody. So true to size, very wide, and extremely comfortable from right out of the box. So that's it, guys, and I'll see you in a second for a quick wrap up. Alright guys, so that is my unboxing / review and on feet look at the Adidas Ace 15.1. So that is the brand new shoe from Adidas. I'm personally a huge fan already. I think they're going to be very comfortable. I can't wait to try them, get them on the field. Once I get them worn in and use them for a few sessions and a few games, I'll do a follow-up video like I usually do. So be sure to watch out for that. There'll be some more videos coming out shortly, so if you guys are interested, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There'll be a lot more reviews and sport videos coming out, so if you like the video, please leave a like. It really helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll be getting some more content soon. So that was a look at the 2015 Adidas Ace 15.1 in the synthetic upper variation. And thanks guys for watching. I hope you liked the video, and stay tuned for more content. There'll be a lot coming up. So thanks guys, and take care.